You wake up, walk into your kitchen, and pour yourself a glass of what you have been told for decades is the absolute gold standard of a healthy morning, taking a deep sip, completely unaware that this very drink is silently calcifying your arteries and multiplying your risk of a debilitating stroke before the day has even truly begun. You are doing your best, and that is what makes this so incredibly frustrating. You want to stay active, you want to keep your mind sharp, and you want to protect your independence as you get older. You have probably cut back on the bacon, you are watching your portions, and you are trying to follow the advice you hear on the morning news. But what if I told you that the hidden culprit behind high blood pressure, stiffening blood vessels, and sudden cardiovascular events isn't just the obvious fried foods or heavy desserts? The real danger often lies in the invisible liquid stressors disguised under health halos. We are talking about drinks labeled as natural diet or vitamin fortified. These beverages sneak past our defenses because liquid calories and liquid chemicals do not register in our bodies the same way solid food does. They hit the bloodstream like a freight train, shocking your delicate cardiovascular system. But do not worry. Today, we are going to uncover 4 of these common morning drinks that seniors should avoid. And I promise you, I will give you safe, delicious, and truly healthy swaps for every single one of them. By the end of this video, you will have a completely revamped morning routine that protects your heart and gives you peace of mind. Before we dive into the fascinating science of what is happening inside your blood vessels, consider subscribing to our channel. We share the kind of deep dive, science-backed senior health tips that doctors often overlook during a rushed 15-minute visit. And I would love to know, where are you watching from today? Drop your city or state in the comments below. It is always wonderful to see where our community is tuning in from. Let us start by looking at that glowing glass of store-bought fruit juice that sits on millions of breakfast tables every single morning. For a very long time, a tall glass of orange or apple juice was marketed as the ultimate sunshine in a bottle, packed with vitamin C and good energy. But here is the painful truth about commercial fruit juices. When you take the juice out of the fruit, you are completely stripping away the fibrous matrix that naturally regulates how your body processes the sugar. What you are left with is an unbuffered fructose bomb. As we age, the inner lining of our blood vessels, known as the endothelium, becomes much more vulnerable to oxidative stress and inflammation. When you drink a glass of commercial juice on an empty stomach, that liquid fructose floods your liver instantly. Your liver cannot process that much fructose all at once, so it converts the excess directly into triglycerides, a type of fat that circulates in your blood and embeds itself into your arterial walls. This process creates compounds called advanced glycation end products. These compounds do exactly what their name suggests. They age your tissues rapidly. They bind to the collagen in your blood vessels, turning flexible, youthful arteries into rigid, stiff tubes. The science on this is incredibly clear and somewhat alarming. A comprehensive 2019 study conducted by the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, which analyzed over 100,000 adults, found that consuming just one sugary beverage a day, like a standard commercial fruit juice, increased the risk of cardiovascular disease by a very significant 8%, with the specific risk of stroke rising sharply due to this rapid arterial stiffening. Think about that for a moment. Just one glass a day. Imagine your blood vessels rusting and calcifying like old neglected metal pipes left out in the rain, losing their ability to expand and contract with your beating heart. When those pipes get too stiff, a sudden spike in blood pressure can cause them to rupture, or a piece of plaque can easily break off and block blood flow to the brain, which is exactly how a stroke happens. But you do not have to give up the flavors you love. The takeaway here is incredibly simple and actionable. Swap out that store-bought processed juice for the actual whole fruit. Eating a whole orange gives you the exact same vitamins, but it delivers them wrapped in natural fiber, which completely blunts the sugar spike. If you truly miss the feeling of a refreshing morning drink, try filling a pitcher with cold water and tossing in a few slices of fresh lemon, cucumber, or crushed berries. You will get a beautiful, bright flavor without the dangerous fructose flood. Moving right along to another morning habit that tricks so many health-conscious people, we have to talk about the seemingly innocent world of sweet, blended smoothies, particularly those you buy pre-made or load up with natural sweeteners. You might be thinking, but wait, I thought blending fruits and adding a little agave or honey was the secret to vitality. This is a very common trap. When you toss bananas, mangoes, pineapple, and generous squirts of agave nectar or honey into a blender, you are breaking down the cellular structure of the food before it even enters your mouth. While this is slightly better than filtered juice because the fiber is technically still in the cup, it is completely pulverized. More importantly, we often consume massive quantities of sugar in a smoothie that we would never be able to eat in solid form. You could easily drink 3 bananas and 2 mangoes in a matter of minutes, whereas you would feel uncomfortably full trying to eat them whole. When seniors consume these massive concentrated doses of liquid sugar, even if it is from organic fruit and agave, it triggers a massive insulin release. Over time, as our cells naturally become somewhat more insulin resistant with age, this constant morning insulin spike forces the pancreas to work overtime. The excess glucose floating in the bloodstream acts like microscopic shards of glass, scraping the delicate endothelial lining of your arteries. Your body tries to heal these microscopic cuts by sending cholesterol to patch them up, which is exactly how arterial plaque begins to build. Research published in the prestigious Journal of the American College of Cardiology tracked thousands of individuals and discovered a startling truth. High intakes of added liquid sugars, even the ones marketed as natural like agave found in many commercial smoothies, are associated with a staggering 20% increase in the risk of developing coronary heart disease and severe arterial plaque buildup over a decade. Imagine treating your beautiful, complex cardiovascular system like a car engine and then pouring a thick, sticky jar of molasses directly into the gas tank. The engine might run for a little while, but eventually the sludge is going to clog the filters, stop the flow, and shut the whole machine down. That sticky sludge is exactly what high-sugar smoothies are doing to your blood vessels. But this does not mean you have to throw your blender away. The simple fix is to change your ratio. Swap those high-sugar tropical fruits and syrups for a homemade green smoothie. Use a base of unsweetened almond milk, throw in a large handful of spinach or kale, add half of a green apple for just a touch of tart sweetness, and include some healthy fats like a spoonful of chia seeds or half an avocado. The healthy fats and intact greens will slow down digestion, keep your blood sugar perfectly stable, and provide your arteries with the anti-inflammatory nutrients they actually need to stay flexible. If you are finding these tips useful so far, please go ahead and give this video a quick thumbs up. It really helps us reach more seniors who might be unknowingly hurting their health with these exact same morning routines. Now let us tackle something that many of you might have switched to in a noble effort to avoid sugar altogether. We need to talk about artificially sweetened diet teas, zero-calorie flavored coffees, and sugar-free morning drinks. It seems so logical, doesn't it? If sugar causes stiff arteries, then a drink with 0 sugar and 0 calories must be the perfect solution. Unfortunately, this is one of the most dangerous nutritional illusions of our modern age. When you drink a beverage loaded with artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, or saccharin, you are playing a very dangerous chemical trick on your brain and your gut. As soon as that intense artificial sweetness hits your tongue, your brain registers that a massive amount of calories and energy is on the way. It prepares your metabolism and in some cases can even trigger a preemptive release of insulin. But then the calories never arrive. This metabolic confusion leaves you craving more food later in the day, but that is not even the worst part for your arteries. Recent science has shown that these artificial chemicals drastically alter your gut microbiome, killing off the good bacteria that help regulate inflammation. When systemic inflammation rises, your blood vessels are the first to suffer, becoming rigid and prone to spasms. A highly comprehensive study published in the American Heart Association's respected journal Stroke followed over 80,000 postmenopausal women to observe the long-term effects of these artificial chemicals. The results were chilling. The researchers revealed that women who consumed 2 or more artificially sweetened diet beverages a day were a massive 23% more likely to suffer from a stroke compared to those who rarely or never drank them. Furthermore, they were 29% more likely to develop heart disease. Think of artificial sweeteners like sounding a false alarm in a busy fire station every single morning. Eventually, the system gets exhausted, the alarms break down, and when a real fire starts in the form of arterial inflammation, your body has no defenses left to fight it. The chemical confusion is simply not worth the risk, especially when you are trying to protect your brain from a stroke. The best action you can take right now is to step away from the diet chemical drinks. Swap those zero-calorie chemical cocktails for a high-quality organic black tea, green tea, or a simple cup of black coffee. If you absolutely need a touch of sweetness, use a very small amount of pure natural stevia leaf or a tiny splash of real cream. Green tea, in particular, is packed with catechins, which are natural compounds that have been scientifically proven to help relax blood vessels and improve the function of that delicate endothelial lining. As we move on to our final morning habit, we have to look at a drink that doesn't taste sweet at all, which is exactly why it catches so many seniors off guard. I am talking about those convenient cans of high-sodium tomato juices and pre-packaged vegetable juice blends. So many folks love to wake up and have a little can of vegetable juice, thinking they are getting a full serving of vegetables in 3 easy gulps. And while tomatoes and celery are wonderfully healthy, the way these commercial drinks are preserved is a cardiovascular nightmare. To make these vegetable juices shelf-stable and to make them taste robust, manufacturers load them with an astronomical amount of sodium. As we age, our kidneys simply become less efficient at filtering out excess sodium. Furthermore, our taste buds can dull slightly, meaning we often crave saltier foods and drinks just to register the flavor. When you drink a highly concentrated dose of liquid sodium first thing in the morning, your body goes into emergency mode to dilute that salt. It pulls water from your surrounding tissues directly into your bloodstream. This sudden influx of fluid massively increases your overall blood volume. A larger volume of blood pumping through the exact same size pipes means the pressure against the walls of your arteries spikes dramatically. Over time, this constant hammering pressure causes the smooth muscle cells in your arterial walls to thicken and stiffen as a defense mechanism, turning them from flexible hoses into rigid, unyielding pipes. The clinical evidence highlighting this danger is profound. A landmark study published in the Journal of Clinical Hypertension demonstrated exactly how fast this damage occurs. The researchers showed that elderly individuals consuming high-sodium vegetable juices experienced a rapid increase in their pulse wave velocity, which is a direct clinical measure of arterial stiffness, by over 15% within just a few short weeks of daily consumption. That means in less than a month, their arteries became measurably harder and closer to the breaking point. Imagine taking a rubber balloon and overinflating it with a high-pressure water hose every single morning. The rubber stretches, it weakens, it loses its elasticity, and eventually it becomes incredibly fragile, ready to snap under the slightest extra strain. That is the daily reality for arteries subjected to hidden liquid sodium. But you do not have to give up the savory morning flavors you enjoy. You just have to be a smart consumer. Swap those high-sodium canned juices for versions that strictly state low sodium on the label, and always check the nutrition panel to make sure the sodium content is well under 140 milligrams per serving. Better yet, if you have a juicer at home, run some fresh tomatoes, celery, and a squeeze of lemon through it. You will get all the potassium, all the lycopene, and all the incredible cardiovascular benefits of the vegetables without the stroke-inducing salt bomb. We have covered a lot of ground today, and I know that hearing about how our everyday habits might be harming us can feel a little overwhelming. But let us take a deep breath and quickly summarize the powerful, actionable steps you now know. You are going to swap out that sugary processed fruit juice for whole, fiber-rich fruits or naturally infused water. You are going to ditch the heavily sweetened, syrup-loaded fruit smoothies for balanced, homemade green smoothies rich in healthy fats. You are going to leave the chemically altered, artificially sweetened diet teas on the shelf and embrace the natural, artery-relaxing power of real green or black tea. And finally, you are going to trade those high-sodium, blood pressure-spiking vegetable drinks for truly low-sodium alternatives or freshly pressed veggies. I want you to hear this loud and clear. You have so much more control over your health, your vitality, and your future than society often leads you to believe. Getting older does not mean you are destined to lose your mobility, your health, or your independence. Your body is an incredibly resilient, miraculous machine that wants to heal itself. Every time you choose the whole orange over the sugary juice, every time you choose the natural tea over the chemical diet drink, you are actively giving your blood vessels the grace and the raw materials they need to soften, to repair, and to keep blood flowing effortlessly to your beautiful brain. Think about what that independence means to you. It means being able to get down on the floor and play with your grandchildren without fear. It means taking those long morning walks with your spouse. It means living life on your own terms, in your own home, feeling strong and capable. I would love to hear from you as we wrap up. Which of these 4 drinks surprised you the most? And which healthy swap are you going to try tomorrow morning? Please let me know in the comments below. I read as many as I possibly can. And if you found this information valuable, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because your health, your longevity, and your independence are absolutely worth fighting for. Remember, small, consistent changes make the biggest difference over time. Keep making those smart choices, keep taking care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video.